What a day for USC. I woke up to some big news. The flip of five-star defensive lineman Justus Terry. Then the Trojans go out and they land another elite defensive line prospect in the South. This time it was edge Isaiah Gibson from Warner Robins, Georgia. A massive recruiting weekend. Heck, it might not be done yet. The Trojans, they started the day, get this, ranked 54th in the country. They're currently ranked number 3. They got it all done in one day, and like I said, they might not be done. That's why I got USC recruiting insider Scott Schrader on the show. We're going to break it all down, but first, USC fans, recruiting is alive. Do me a favor, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel because we're talking Trojan recruiting all offseason, so jump on board, hit subscribe. All right, let's bring on Scott Schrader. Scott, it's all coming together. I know they had some big names on campus. It was going to be a big visit weekend, but did you expect the fireworks that we've seen this weekend?
No, I expected the guys to have a pretty strong experience. I think the relationship that a lot of these defensive linemen anyway, the guys that have committed, just developed a really strong relationship in a relatively fast amount of time with Eric Henderson, the new defensive line coach that came from the Los Angeles Rams. So they had a big event yesterday, March 23rd. I think they ended up having like 60 guys. They had Aaron Donald was there as a guest of Eric Henderson, and of course that gets everybody excited. And I honestly thought that because this was the first visit for almost all of these guys, especially from Georgia, I was thinking it was going to take until the official visit for stuff to pop. So yeah, I was surprised on what's happening, and like you indicated, it's probably not done yet.
Yeah, and we'll start with Justus Terry, right? He's the number 2 ranked defensive lineman in America, the number 8 overall prospect. Now, he's from Manchester, Georgia, committed to the Georgia Bulldogs. Not just committed, but he was essentially the foundation of that class, literally and figuratively. So how was USC able to get it done this weekend? It's turning time, and I don't want you to miss any of the action for March Madness, so here's what we're going to do to watch all the games. Prime Video is streaming every tournament game live with a subscription to either Paramount or Max, and, lots of these games are on while we're at work. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to log on, sneak in these games while you're on the clock, and Prime Video has you covered. Watch every game live on your phone, on your laptop, or relax and watch it at home on Prime Video with a subscription. It's March. It's madness, and you can stream it all on Prime Video.
I think you have to start again with we'll refer to him as Coach Henny, Eric Henderson. I think without him at USC, none of what we're talking about right now probably happens. So you have to give him his credit there, but you also have to give credit to the entire USC defensive staff that is almost all new except for Sean Nua. Defensive line coach. He's now going to coach the edge rushers. So I think the combination of Henderson, a strong staff right now from top to bottom, and a fully funded NIL program for the first time in 3-4 years doesn't hurt either. So USC has the funds to be able to compete with the elite programs finally in that arena.
All right. So that news broke around 8 a.m. in the morning. And then it was time for Isaiah Gibson. Now, Isaiah Gibson, 6'4", 240 pounds from Warner Robins, Georgia. He was uncommitted at the time, but he was trending heavily to UGA coming into the weekend. Yeah. I saw you put in a recruiting prediction pick on, I think it was Saturday night. What was your sources saying? Did you know that this was imminent?
I had just hit up. It's just asking. I said, "Hey, is there any way you can get any feel at all after this first visit on these guys?" And I specifically Elijah Griffin, Justus Terry, Isaiah. Those are like the 3 guys I asked about. I might have asked about a call. I forget everybody that I had asked about, and so I get a reply, "Call me," and I start hearing what is going, what had happened, and I'm thinking, I'm just like, there's just no way that you flipped Justus Terry. Okay. And, I was still at the point where I had to see it myself to believe it. It had to go up on social media for me to believe that they were doing what they're doing. So, it was a lot of excitement, and it's, it could continue to get crazy. Of course, we're realistic. Long way to go until December, right, Josh?
A long way to go. But even the the Justus Terry recruitment, it even caught our own On Three's Hayes Fawcett off guard. He didn't even have a commit graphic ready for Justus Terry. It was just a massive weekend, especially on the defensive line. So that leads me to my next question.
Yeah.
Elijah Griffin is the number 1 defensive lineman. Justus Terry is the number 2. They're both in the state of Georgia. Elijah Griffin is from Savannah, Georgia. Also trending heavily to UGA in the recruiting prediction machine, but dare I say, could he be the next USC Trojan commitment?
I didn't get a sense on where things are on a timeline if he were to make a decision and commit. But USC does feel like they're in a pretty strong spot with him as well. So, this will be something we'll follow up on to kind of get an idea what's going on. But we knew he was not going to be among the guys that were going to announce a commitment, in the relative near future.
All right. Now I want to talk about quarterback Julian Lewis, because prior to this weekend, he was the only commitment in this class, and he'd been the only commitment for about 6 or 7 months. This weekend, he was not in Los Angeles. Julian Lewis was in Boulder, Colorado, visiting the Buffaloes. Do you think this news helps with his recruitment? Because he is taking visits everywhere. He'll be at USC next weekend, but he is checking out Alabama and Georgia and Auburn and Colorado. Do you think that this momentum could actually help keep Julian Lewis committed?
I absolutely do think this helps. It unquestionably, in my mind, this helps. I think that part of maybe some uncertainty that may have been there about USC for him was would he be able to surround himself with the kind of talent that they are at Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, and Texas and places like that. He's very, very interested in what's going on with USC's recruiting efforts. So I can tell you that much. So I would say absolutely this helps him tremendously. I think the fact that the momentum that's kind of they're gaining right now as we're heading into the official visit season here in not too long of a future. I think a couple months away now.
Yep.
He'll be on campus March 30th for another visit, and it was confirmed he will be there. So I think that it has to help him tremendously, and I think going forward it's going to help with a lot of other guys as well.
All right, Scott, any final thoughts on the weekend? Do you think in the next 24 to 48 hours we could see another commitment or two drop?
Yeah, it's one of those things to where I don't want to say yes or no because I'm not. I don't know. But it would not surprise me if there are more in the next 24 to 48 hours. I think there were some other guys that really felt strongly about what they had experienced yesterday. But not everybody's ready to do it, at the same time as other guys. So I think there are a few other defensive linemen. I think there's another cornerback. And so there's a running back as well that's really, really high on USC that I've always felt could commit at any time. But I think a lot of these guys, as they get away from USC after yesterday, they start realizing that they still want to take those trips that they had scheduled and do that as an uncommitted prospect.
Yeah, well, regardless, I think some of the guys that were on campus this weekend, whether they commit in the next 24 or 48 hours, I think USC will end up signing a few of the guys that were on campus that maybe haven't even committed yet. So this kind of really kicks off recruiting season for USC. You guys have done an incredible job on the site. I encourage everybody to go check it out. There's so much going on with USC recruiting coming out of this weekend. It's been really fun talking to you, Scott. Appreciate you dropping by the Inside Scoop today.
Hey, thank you, Josh. Appreciate you.
Thank you for watching this video. And if you enjoyed that, go check out the hundreds of videos that we have on this channel. And also, do me a favor, hit subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel.